Hi, my name is Madison Webster. I'm a third year MFA candidate in painting at Penn West Edinburgh University. I graduated from Queen's University of Charlotte in 2023 with a degree in studio art, and while I was there, I competed in cross country and track and field. In this talk, I'll be talking about my most recent works from the last few months from the works in the spring show forward. This was my first piece that was in the spring show. This is a self-portrait that I did as a reaction to the results of the 2024 election. And sort of how I felt the day afterwards. It just portrays my emotions of hopelessness following the results and restlessness. Here's some detail shots. With this piece, I was a bit more expressive with my mark making. I painted it in 1 or 2 sessions while my emotions were still fresh. With this expressive mark making, this sort of started an interest in my future paintings, and I hope to continue this in my future paintings, which you'll see in the rest of this slideshow. This piece was also in the spring show. It features some of my friends who are in the painting studios with me at Edinburgh. They're a great source of influence and inspiration, and so I wanted to compose these figures together in a scene that embodies the daily life of the studio where we all hang out and talk. In these detail shots, I just wanted to show you a bit of how I incorporated looser brushwork with still capturing the likeness of the faces. And these are on a larger scale, which made it a lot easier to do so. And I'm continuing to work larger in my current paintings. This is a painting of my family. I painted this at home over winter break. It captures an intimate moment where my grandfather, my parents, and I are playing checkers. This one was a bit challenging because of the multiple perspectives in the chessboard as well as the logs. Here's some close-ups of the faces of my grandfather and I. I enjoy painting the glass door in the back because of the alternate view of the scene that I have with the reflective glass. And I also incorporated some dry brushing in this one as well and played a little bit around with the texture. At Edinburgh, I've really enjoyed having the opportunity to learn to paint and draw the figure from life. Here's an example of one of my figure paintings. I'm really drawn to compositions with intense light and shadow, so this is what I was focusing on in this painting. This is a self-portrait of myself that I did from a mirror. I was doing a larger study of finding flesh tones and moving from cool to warm. Also done at a larger scale so I could really find the flesh tones and the complexion. I was doing a lot of archery at this time and was thinking about the story of getting an apple shot off of my head. This is another flesh tone study that I had done. This is of my friend Freeman, who is also a graduate student in metalworking. Just another portrait of complexions. I did a few of these from life, again, aiming to capture the likeness of the person. More recently, I've begun on a still life series. And this one is the first in that series. I start with an object that intrigues me or that has meaning to me, such as the Cupid doll in this one. And I bring the objects to the table and I construct a narrative around what figures I have. Here are some detail shots of that. I have a large focus in these paintings on the surface and texture, and I'm really interested in creating a dynamic surface. And I've been using a lot of palette knife, which I haven't previously done in these still lifes. The idea for this painting began with an object as well, which in this case was this vintage monkey that I found in the prop room. I was inspired after coming back from New York City, and I wanted to have him taking over the city of blocks, even though he has a goofy expression on his face. Since all of these toys are really well loved and used, I wanted to show this in the application of the paint. So as you can see here, the rougher texture I achieved with multiple layers and also palette knife and letting it dry. And I hope that this application of the paint shows the age of the toys and the objects. I thrifted this yellow lamb and I thought that he was intriguing because he looks like he's running away from something. So I created this night scene that simulates a bad dream in which something is chasing you. And yep. A focus of these still lifes has been trompe l'oeil, for example, the tape and the string in this painting. By doing this, I hope that this emulates how it looks in real life. For example, the texture of the blocks as it is in real life as well. A really fun part and an important part of these paintings has been setting them up. I've included some behind the scene pictures so you could see a bit of this process. I usually find a bunch of objects and I play around with them until I find a narrative that works best. This is a current in-process painting that I'm about halfway done with. Moving forward, I want to incorporate figures with my still life. This painting is the process of setting up for a painting and playing with and manipulating the objects. I look forward to finishing it. Thank you very much.
Any questions? Yes.
Do you see yourself doing more politically charged paintings with your still lifes, which are a perfect way to set up metaphors and, for your opinions about things that are going on today?
I think I do. I think that like whatever is relevant in my life at the time that I'm creating the painting, I think that that's definitely something I would consider in the future, maybe into this next semester.
Do you use acrylic or oil paint?
I use oil paint.
I'm interested in your process, maybe as a child or in high school, and if there was anything that you gravitated towards when you were a child as far as creating goes.
I definitely drew a lot as a child, and I've always had sort of like an interest in like toys and objects, which I think is why I'm sort of returning to these still life narratives. I started oil painting in undergrad, but before that, it was a lot of drawing and acrylic painting.
Any other questions or comments? Yeah.
I haven't yet. I've been a part of the painting and drawing club show, but my thesis show will be next year. Thank you.